Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week our Torah portion is in the early part of the book of Exodus, and we have a fascinating dichotomy that emerges. We get the first part of the 10 plagues, and in the 10 plagues, God is, through Moses, having big things happen to the people of Egypt. And at the same time, the text reminds us that God is hardening Pharaoh's heart. And so the question is, why does God need to do both? If God wants to get the Israelites out, then do a plague or two and they'll be set free. You don't need to harden Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh will react to the plague and away the people will be. On the other hand, if God wants to make Pharaoh look particularly stubborn, the heart gets hardened and on we go that way. The reality, I think, is a slightly different spin on it that I want to spend a little time with. So, on the one hand, God is trying to not only free the Israelites, but discredit the Pharaoh and the whole pantheon of the gods of Egypt. So that's one piece of why their plagues aren't working. But more than that, I think, is a fascinating question of mixed messages. On the one hand, the plagues are coming down on the people. On the other hand, God is hardening Pharaoh's heart. So the people are being punished twice. Once with the plagues, and once for having allowed a stubborn leader to emerge, and for putting up with that leader when the people probably should have spoken up and done something about it. It's a fascinating lesson for us today. We can alter and accept the level of suffering we want to accept. There comes a point where we have a voice and we can speak out. Moses speaks out for the Israelites, but who speaks out for the Egyptians? It's a great question and a great challenge. And the mixed message of hardening Pharaoh's heart and also causing the plagues says on some level the Egyptians are really paying for their choice. And as people today, we've got to question, how much are we willing to pay for our choices too? I hope you'll wrestle with me on these questions. There's a lot to explore. It's much more than just the 10 plagues that we recall each Passover. There's fascinating questions about why this plague and how it all comes together and which ones the Pharaoh's people can reenact and which ones they can't, and so on and so forth. I hope you'll join us at the temple. Services Friday evening are at 6 o'clock p.m. Saturday morning we have Torah study at 10, services at 11. Text study proceeds at 9 o'clock. Sunday morning we do not have religious school this coming week because it's Martin Luther King Day. We hope you'll go act and speak out for justice and speak out for the kind of country that we want to have and a kind of place where everybody is equal and everybody is free. Monday our office will be closed for Martin Luther King Day, and throughout the rest of the week most of the rest of the activities will continue, although our Talmud class on Tuesday will not be taking place. For now, I wish you a Shabbat of wrestling with mixed messages and trying to figure out what are the uncovered pieces, what are the mysteries still lurking there, and how can we learn from them. I think our tradition gives us a really interesting example that can guide us in these confusing times. And I hope you'll join with me as we explore it together. Shabbat Shalom for now. Look forward to seeing you in the temple.